most of you know us. Like, we are students at George Washington University, and we have been working for your school. And today we're presenting what we have done for your school. I'll start with introduction, and I'll talk briefly about our grant application. Lisa just here will tell you about the strategic plan that is consisted of 3 big objectives. And our recommendation will serve as our conclusion. So, we worked for your school, J for Montessori, and we made a strategic plan. And this is for you to get Maryland Green School certification. And do you know what this certification is? Okay. Yes. Getting a certification is really good for you because when you get certified, you get a statewide recognition. That means that you get to be a great role model for other students in Maryland. So, and also Maryland gives you like green school flags, banners, and native green school trees, and many other benefits as well. And we also applied for the public service grant. And we wrote a proposal, and we got $2,500. Most of it is spent on today's Earth Day event. And as you said earlier, like the birdhouse with bluebirds, we also fund on that as well. So by far, we wrote project outline, project update, and we're preparing for the project final report that is due May 1st. So from now on, just explain you about the strategic plan.
Alright, so in order for you guys to get your green school certification, there's 3 objectives that you guys have to meet. You guys are already well on your way, but the first objective is curriculum and instruction. So this is what you guys are doing in your classrooms with your teachers. So the first criteria is environmental issue investigation. You guys have already done a few things under this criteria. You guys had the Adventure Theater's green play, and you guys also, some of you went to the outdoor camp. But one thing we think you guys might be interested in doing is doing an investigation of invasive species. So you might learn about these invasive species in your classroom, and then with help from a community partner, go out around the school, find what invasive species you have here, and then find a better solution for the problem. So the next criteria is for your teachers, and it's professional development. We found 2 organizations for some workshops that your teachers might be interested in doing. So they can go to the National Wildlife Visitor Center, where they can work with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and participate in some workshops. And then they can then take what they learned and teach you guys in the classroom about them. And they also get access to some areas for field trips. So that's something that's great for you guys. Additionally, the teachers can have a professional speaker come in, and this is where you could use some of your community partners with the Cheverly Garden Club or Progressive Cheverly. And the teachers can pick a subject that maybe they're more interested in, like green initiatives at home or rain barrels or composting, and then they can have a lesson here at the school. So the next criteria under this objective is celebration, and this is what we're doing today with the Earth Day celebration. But a couple of other ideas we had is maybe having awards for green students. So those students who go above and beyond working to make the school green might get an award, or a classroom that maybe is making a lot of effort might, win a party or some sort of prize at the end of a month or the end of the year for doing really great green initiatives. So the next objective to get Green School certified is the best management practices. So these are all the things that you're doing around school, like today with the birdhouses and the gardens and picking up trash to help you be more green. So the first criteria is water conservation, and one of the ideas we had was to be doing an erosion control project. And this would be done back at the school near your playground where you have that steep hill. And that would just be stopping the soil on the hill from running into your playground. And another idea would be to do rain barrel projects. And I know we've spoken about this with some of you guys who are interested, but this would be collecting the water from the rain that lands on the roof, and then it gets collected in a barrel, and you use the water from this barrel to help water plants and flowers around the school. This way you're saving water and not just taking water from the ground, but saving the water that comes out of the sky. And then in the future, some ideas, maybe when you go to get recertified in 4 years, would be to have low flow faucets so you save water when you're using the sinks. And also to reduce the hard surfaces around campus, so maybe change your old blacktop when it comes time to redo that to something not only more kid-friendly, but something that lets the water soak through to the ground below. So the next criteria is water pollution, and this is making sure the water you guys are using when it leaves the school, it's not dirty for the rivers and the oceans. So the first idea would be to do storm drain stenciling around school, and what this does is you paint stencils near the storm drains that will help the people in the neighborhood, will stop them from putting chemicals or trash down the drains so that when it goes into the rivers and your streams, it's safe. And another idea that you guys are working on today is planting trees and shrubs, and this helps filter out the water that's soaking into the ground so that it's more clean when it goes into your waterways. And then another idea in the future would maybe doing a watershed monitoring field trip to the Anna Helm watershed to see what you guys can do to help make it cleaner, and in the future what you can do to keep it clean. And the third criteria we have is energy conservation. You guys have already done something really great here. You guys have motion sensor lighting, and that helps save energy because lights aren't left on. Another idea would be to conduct an energy audit, maybe in science or math class, and you can find ways to save energy and calculate how much energy you're saving. And another idea would be to introduce a power off policy, so when your lights already go off, but when you're not in the library or in a classroom, making sure the computer's turned off all the way, or if you guys are using a TV in a classroom, making sure it's turned off. Any electronics are just turned off. And then in the future, another idea would be to install energy efficient lighting. So in addition to having the lights be motion sensors, you have light bulbs that maybe don't use as much energy. And then something else you guys could do would be to turn the heat down or the air conditioning down a little bit to save a little bit of energy as well.
Okay, I'm going to be talking about the rest of the requirements that all of you need help with. The fourth criteria is solid waste. So this is going to be reestablishing recycling in all of the classrooms, which all of us, after you use paper, you can place it in a recycling bin and then it can be reused, and this is really helpful for the environment. And then also in the future, we hope that you can add recycling for plastic water bottles, cans, and cardboard, which some of you might already do at home. And then another idea we had was talking about no trash lunch boxes. So that means when you bring your lunch to school, maybe doing this every Tuesday, you bring a lunch box that has no trash in it. So it has a container that you maybe put your sandwich in that you bring home, and your parents can help pack the sandwich in that again the next day, so you're not wasting materials. And then we met with the Green Committee in February. A lot of you talked about compost bins, if you remember, and we think this is something the school can work towards in the future, and you can have one on campus. So this is things that don't need to be thrown away, like banana peels that you could put in the compost bin, and they can be recycled back into the earth for plant materials. And then criteria 5 is natural habitat restoration, and some of this you already did today. You collected trash and promoted no littering on campus, which is always a good thing. And then actually Dr. Whitt just showed me your plans for the butterfly garden on campus, which is going to be really exciting for the future, and it's supposed to be near your playground, so that's something to look forward to. And then something maybe you could do for the future is establishing a no-mow area on campus, which is somewhere where maintenance would mow the lawn and you would see what happens. It will enhance natural wildlife, and you can use this in your classroom to see what a natural habitat would look like. And then building structures. Today we did this with you. This was the bluebird boxes. As you know, the bluebird is a struggling species in Maryland, so making these boxes really helps with them when they're creating nests, and they have more protection, and it's really helping out with the species, so that's really good that we did that today. And then something we could do maybe with the butterfly garden is creating an outdoor study site on campus, so you guys can go outside, study, have an outdoor classroom, which the Green Committee was very excited about when we met with them, so that could be something fun for the future. And then today you're planting flower beds, which is always nice. It makes the school look better, and it's always better for the environment. And then the rain barrels that Jessica talked about before also meets this requirement, so if you did that, you'd be satisfying 2 things for the application, so that would be nice. And then finally, or responsible transportation. Currently, most of you take bus services, which is good because that is better for the environment to carpool, and it saves gas, obviously. But another idea we had was maybe some of you that live close together, you can work with your parents and your friends' parents to carpool so that not as many cars are traveling to school and you're saving gas, and that's always better for the environment. So that's something that you would need to work with your parents out and maybe do that next year. And then finally, this is really exciting, but we've been working with Dr. Whitt to try to get a bike rack on school campus so you could ride your bike here and then store it there, which would be something all of you would be really excited about.
Back to school.
That was a fun thing to hear about. It will turn our attention to finish this thing about the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, the last thing is promoting a healthy environment, which is something that every school needs. So a couple years ago, you guys created a school peace wall, which is something great, and that's always a nice thing to have in your environment. And then we talked about reduce, reuse, and recycle with the Green Committee, and that's just kind of a reminder program that you always should be thinking this mentality. And then the outdoor education camp that some of you attended in the fall fits into this criteria. And then I know your school promotes healthy snacks, so that's something that would work here as well. So objective 3 is working with school and community partners. So that would be someone like us who comes to the school and works with you guys. We know you've also worked with the Cheverly Garden Club. You've also worked with city councilmen, the Prince George's County Community Cleanup that you did in the fall. I know you were awarded the Silver Award, which was exciting. And then Progressive Cheverly, that's been really helpful for all of you. And then what the green certification is that your school applies for it every spring, and if Maryland thinks that you meet the requirements, they will give you the certification, and you will have that certification for 4 years, and then 4 years later you'll have to reapply and show that you're still doing all the things necessary to keep your school green. So we think your school meets the requirements, so we hope that you apply in the spring and that you'll be certified, and that some of the recommendations we gave all of you to do for the future, you can push your teachers to do, and will help keep your certification forever. And that's it. So do you have any questions?
Well, let's give our CW partnership students And I want to thank you all for working with us. We have a few more minutes. I'd like to talk to our partners, and I'd like to hear some of the thank yous that we have, and I will share for all of us. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Helm for contacting me. She read in one of our newsletters about how we are interested in becoming a green school. And she says, oh, I've got just the perfect idea for you. Would you be interested in participating in our class? That she had written, Dr. Helm wrote a class course for students to do service learning projects with different businesses around the world. And so we were very fortunate that Emporia selected us to work with our school. And so they met with us to see what were our needs, what were our goals, and things that we would like to do. We all put our heads together and talked. And we did have a goal already to become a green school. So I know I really appreciate having your focus, because we sat down and talked a few times. We talked with the students from the Green Committee and adults on that committee, and they heard everything we said. So I went back and looked at their report. This presentation that you saw is just a small part of their report. They have a very detailed strategic plan for us. So all the activities that they suggested have resources for us. So we go, oh, that's a great idea. Let's do that. They have information for us to go forward and work on these activities. So that was a lot of work for us, and to help us reach our goal, and helping us see how we really are a good part of the way there, and where we need to really focus on to make it all the way. So we have a little token of appreciation that I'll give to you. All right. We have a certificate for each of them. It says, in recognition of the work achieved in the greening of Judith P. Montessori, Young Jun Yang, congratulations. Okay.
Jessica.
The border of the paper is just perfect. It has buildings around, school buildings and churches and community buildings, so it really looks like a community partnership paper, so we really appreciate that. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you very much. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for your attention. I know you did a lot of work today. You did a lot of work outside, and you've done work in your classrooms. There are activities. We had so much planned for today. We've got lots of things to continue to work on. So some things that you might not been able to finish, we will be finishing it. A big project that got started this morning was the garden, the raised garden down at the flagpole. And it looks really, really great. So each class will have participated in putting something in that garden. So the upper elementary class helped put it together, the structure together, the round bed, and put the soil in it and mix it up with the mulch, and put the letters. The letters are in. Kristen was down there, came down, and Miss Ann helped us with all the math. The students were all using their math skills, teachers, to do this project. And so the primary students are down there now, putting their bulbs around the perimeter, and then the lower elementary classes can add some flowers to it. So everyone will have contributed to that flower bed down at the flagpole. So but we do have plans for other activities, other plans as well. So thank you very much. This afternoon, I understand that you're working on an activity that the students suggested, and the students work with teachers for a lesson plan for you this afternoon, and you have a plant, scavenger hunt, in the upper and the lower playground area. So that sounds like a wonderful activity. Boys and girls, I appreciate you doing that. So this is our official kickoff of celebrating all our efforts becoming a great